Okay, just brought my brand new cheapo tripod and I have my Android phone hooked up to it. I'm going to try to do a video here of a sample beach landing in Saipan. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, but let's see. So, this is the first week in hell scenario, and I've already gone through the pre-game airstrikes and bombardment from the ships, and I have pulled a few chits, and now I have pulled the amphibious chit. We are up to the amphibious chit, and I'm going to try to show you how this works. I'm still learning the game myself, but hopefully this will help people who are trying to figure out how the beach landings work. Done a lot of reading on this. So we're going to start out with red 2 over here. And the first thing that will happen is we need to find out where they're going to land, because historically they drifted. So we need to roll one die, find out if they drift to a different beach. And I rolled a 1, which means they're going to go to red 2, which is not great because that means that they could possibly start to pile up with other units, but we'll see what happens. So you place your final beach red 2 marker in this spot because they rolled 0 through 4. Now we know where they're going to land. They're going to start to land. So I've done a lot of reading, and it sounds like, well, we'll just go through it. So these guys in the final run-in zone, they're going to land on red 1. The Japanese have the option to opportunity fire on them when they hit here, and then any effects take place as if they happen back here. It's still kind of confusing though, because as the Americans, you have the option of landing deployed, which I'm going to do. And the reason why I'm going to do that is if they take a route check, if they route or even pin or anything, because they're deployed, they're not going to route. They're going to pin in this hex, because I need to get units in this hex because I don't want the Japanese to take this beach. If I was landing in column, then they could conceivably route, which means they would go all the way back to the end of the line here in the transport zone. And I don't want them to do that. I want them to land in the beach because I need to secure these beaches. I hope I have this correct. If Adam or anybody from the Compass watches this, I would love to know if I'm doing this right. So they're going to land. So I can shoot at them here. I've got some guys who are pretty disorganized because of previous airstrikes. Some other guys that have light barrages on them. But I can definitely hit them from these guys here, and we're going to do that. So what we do is we count up what we've got, and we have 3, 4, 5, and the AT gun is going to change it from small arms fire to high explosive. So it's going to be 5 on the high explosive chart. Now we're going to be firing at the hex, but because I have a amphibious unit here, which is now going to flip to this because they have to flip when they land, it's going to be a -2 because we're firing at a hex that has a hard target in it. So it's 5 -2 down to 3. However, it's going to be +1 because this unit is in column. The Japanese can pick 1 unit's defensive value to modify it. So that will actually, so it'll start as a 5. It'll be -2 because we're firing at a hex with a hard target, this guy. But it's going to be +1 because we're using the defensive value of this amphib, or Amtrak, or whatever they call it. So it actually goes from a 5 down to a 3 back up to a 4 on the high explosives chart. So I'll roll a die, and I roll a 0. Of course, a 0 is always good, no matter what, and that's a 2 DGS. So it's going to be a 2 DG on everybody landing in this hex, and they're also suppressed. Hope I'm doing this right. Again, because they're landing deployed, I think this is how it works. So they will land here. And we'll throw the DG and the suppressed on there. And then these guys will get a No op fire on them. They're done. Okay, so that was one hex. Now we're going to move on to another one. We'll do red 3. So again, we need to roll a die to see what beach they land in. And it's a 9, which again is bad because that means they're going to land also in red 2. See that? So they drifted south, they drifted north. It means it's going to be a huge pile up in red 2. It's one of the worst things that could happen for the Marines. So we're going to put the final red 3 beach is also going to go in this hex so that we mark it. It's going to be a big pile up in here. Okay, so these guys are coming in. Now the interesting thing is they're not adjacent, so they can't fire at them. These guys can't either. These guys can't because they've got the light barrage on them. They don't have a lot of people firing on them. These guys could actually fire on them, and they might. But the thing is, they're already got a 2 DG and a suppress on it. When these two guys move in, they're also going to be 2 DG and suppress because they're going to adopt whatever markers are already in the hex. You can't get much better than a 2GS. I mean, you could try to get more DGs on them, but the suppress is pretty awesome. I may wait and let this guy fire at these guys coming in over here. So I think that's what I'll do. So these guys are going to land deployed. And we also have now a full hex. I don't believe the Amtrak counts as a against the stacking rules, but we do have 3 units in there now above and beyond that, and anything over 3 is going to give me another DG. So that's a gross situation right now. It's starting off pretty bad for the 6th Regimental Combat Team. Yes. All right. So let's move on next. Now we're going to do the green 1 guys. We're going to roll and see what beach they land in. And they land in 4, so that's not too bad, I guess. So green 1 final. So they land in 4, green 1 final. So they're going to be landing also deployed. So they're going to come in. They're going to be able to get attacked from these 2 hexes because even though they have a light barrage marker on them, they can fire. They have a 1 hex fire zone. So let's see what these guys will do. So it is, oops, got a little mix up. Kind of screw up here. I lost a unit somewhere. Not sure what's happening. I gotta figure. Oh crap. Sorry, new guy with a camera again. Here's this guy here. All right, so it is 3. It is 3, 4, and the knee mortar will change it to high explosive. I do have a disorganized, a -1 here for the disorganized and a -1 for the barrage. So it actually goes back to a 2. Where were those guys? I think they were here. So it's only a 2 on the high explosive. So let's see if the Japanese get anything here. They roll a 7, so that's nothing. However, they will be no opt. Now let's see what these guys here do. So they have a DG level 4 on them, so that's pretty hurtful. So they start off as a 3, add 1 for the knee mortar for 4, add 1 for the leader for 5, and then -3 for the disorganized. So that goes down to a 2 also. It's not a great roll for the Japanese, and they roll an 8, so nothing there too. So they're no opt also. These guys can't fire at them. I think I will go ahead and fire these guys at them, the 6th of the 55th Naval Unit, because that's a pretty good roll. It's a 5 right now, and I will make it high explosive. I can see through the hexes. There's no blocking terrain. They have an 8 hex range, and there's no blocking terrain as far as I can tell, so we'll roll. It'll be a straight up 5. And they roll a 1 on high explosive. That's a DGR. So the Americans will get 1 DG. It's actually a DGR star. So they're going to get the 1 DG, and then they have to roll a route check, and I get to subtract 1 because of the star. I think their troop quality is a 6. Ooh, I rolled an 8. Oh, so even though we're going to subtract 1 for the star, that brings it down to a 7. That's still higher than their troop quality, which means they failed the route check. Now here's, I think I'm understanding this correctly, that they changed the series rules to say they can land deployed. If they were landing in column, this would route them back to the back of the transport zone here. But because they're landing deployed, I think all it does is it pins them. I hope I'm getting that right. So we will put a pin marker on them, and they will land. Okay, last one here on Green Beach. We're going to roll to see where. Oops. We're going to roll to see where it lands, and it's a 5. Ugh, bad thing again. Same thing happened. They're going to bunch up with the other landing beach. They're going to land on green 1 also. So, not great landing spots. The guys driving the LCTs or whatever they call them are not doing a great job. So these guys are going to actually land in the same hex. We can't, well, you know, the only good news is because they're landing here, they're out of range of these guys here. And everyone else is op fired. Oh, I did fire this guy. I need to mark this, oh, crap, sorry. I need to mark this naval unit with a no op fire. I could fire that guy, and I may do it. In fact, I may have him go after the hard target just to show how that works. Yeah, we're gonna fire these guys up here because they're up on a slope, which means they can see over all this junk here and see down to this beach. And these guys are gonna be deployed. This guy's gonna flip. And so if I fired at him, it's gonna because it's a white box, I can change it to armor piercing. And again, because I'm firing just at this tank, I get to add the +1, so it ends up being a 5. And a 5 on armor piercing, if I get a 4 or 5, it'll kill them. So we're going to fire these guys here. Oh wait, I'm sorry, you can't even see what I'm doing. Again, rookie mistake. I'm going to fire these guys here. This anti-tank gun, I guess. Oh, an anti-aircraft gun. And we're going to fire at the Amtrak over here. I need a 5, like I said. So let's see what happens. I got a 9. I gotta check to see if that breaks the gun. I can't remember if it breaks the AA gun. It might just break. It might just break support weapons. I'll have to check. But in any case, it did not hurt him. However, again, the same situation, because these guys are landing in the same hex that's already pinned and DG'd. They will also be pinned and DG'd. So we're going to all land here, one big happy family. And so we have 2 humongous beaches out of the 4 we should have landed on here. And that will be it for this quick video. I'm going to stop it.